Watch how one night with my boss turned my whole world upside down.
If success demanded your body, your soul, and your peace, would you still chase it? Amara sat in her small room in Surulere, staring at her phone. The email from Glover Tech International blinked on the screen. Congratulations, you've been selected. Her heart raced. After years of job hunting, it finally happened. She screamed, hugged her mother, and cried. Her mother thanked God for answering prayers. Amara dreamed of new clothes, fine cars, and flying abroad. But at that moment, she didn't know she was stepping into a world of secrets. That evening, a black car came to pick her up for the company's orientation. The driver was quiet, but his eyes in the mirror told a story she didn't understand. As the car moved through the night, she felt something deep inside whisper, "Be careful, Amara." The company looked like heaven, tall glass buildings, expensive perfumes in the air, and smiling people in fine suits. Amara couldn't believe she now worked there. Her boss, Mr. Kelvin, shook her hand with a wide smile. "Welcome to the family," he said. His tone was warm, but his eyes scanned her body. She ignored it and smiled back. The first week was magical lunch at fancy restaurants, bonuses, and parties in Lekki. Everything looked perfect. Then one night, her roommate from work, Chioma, whispered, "Be careful. This company doesn't promote talent. They promote loyalty of another kind." Amara laughed it off. "Stop scaring me," she said. But Chioma's eyes stayed serious. "You'll see soon," she murmured. One evening, Mr. Kelvin invited Amara to dinner. He said it was just to discuss her career. She was excited, her first private meeting with the boss. At the restaurant, everything was golden lights, music, wine. But when he leaned closer and said, "If you want to move up fast, you must be special to me," her heart froze. She smiled weakly, pretending not to understand. He slid an envelope across the table. "For you, just say yes." Inside were dollar bills too much to ignore. That night, Amara didn't sleep. She thought about her poor mother, her unpaid bills, her dreams. In the morning, she told herself it was just one time. Within weeks, Amara became the new face of the company's marketing division. She got a car, a luxury apartment, and people started calling her Madam A. But Chioma grew distant. One afternoon, she said, "You think you're winning, but they are using you." Amara ignored her. She was now flying to Abuja and Dubai for meetings. The life she dreamed of was here. But behind the smiles and success, strange things began to happen. She heard whispers about a secret room. Some said promotions were given after a midnight meeting with the board. One night, Mr. Kelvin called her again. "They want to meet you." Her stomach tightened. It was 1 a.m. when the company car picked her up. She wore a black gown and diamond earrings. The driver said nothing. They arrived at a mansion in Banana Island. Inside were a few top executives, all smiling too widely. Mr. Kelvin introduced her. "She's ready." "Ready for what?" she wondered. Then one of the women, Mrs. Ayoka, said softly, "Everything you desire comes with a price. Tonight you must show loyalty." Amara's heart pounded. A black candle was lit, and everyone began to chant words she couldn't understand. She wanted to run, but her legs froze. When she woke up hours later, she was in her apartment with blood on her wrist. Amara couldn't remember what happened that night. She felt dizzy and weak. On her table was a new letter, "Congratulations on your promotion." Her bank account showed millions. She stared at it and cried. Something inside her had changed. When she called Mr. Kelvin, he said, "You're part of us now. Never ask questions." Amara felt trapped. The company started using her face on all their billboards. Her fame grew, but her peace died. At night, she heard voices whispering her name. Sometimes she woke up screaming. She wanted to quit, but the moment she tried, a strange accident happened to Chioma. Chioma was hit by a car outside the office. Everyone said it was a coincidence, but Amara knew better. Before Chioma died, she whispered, "They will take your soul next." Those words haunted Amara day and night. She stopped going to the parties, refused invitations, and prayed harder. But one morning, a black crow appeared at her balcony. Its eyes glowed red. Her phone rang. It was Miss Uzayoka. "You're missing your duties, my dear. The next ceremony is soon." Amara's hands shook. She knew she had to escape, but where could she run from? People who controlled everything. At a cafe in Lekki, Amara met a man named David, a journalist. He was calm, with deep eyes. He had been investigating Glover Tech for years. When she told him a little about her fears, he nodded slowly. They call it the exchange circle. Every star employee pays with something, body, blood, or silence. Amara broke down crying. "I didn't know what I was signing up for." David promised to help her expose them, but warned her, once they suspect you, they will come for you. That night, her apartment door was broken into. A note was left on her bed. "We see you." David planned to leak their files online. Amara stole some documents from the CEO's office, contracts, strange symbols, photos, but someone was watching her. Mr. Kelvin's assistant reported everything. At the next board meeting, Mrs. Ayoka smiled at Amara. "You've done well, my dear. We have something special for you next month." Amara knew it was a trap. She played along, pretending everything was fine. That night, David sent a message. "Leave Lagos now." But it was too late. 3 black cars pulled up outside her gate. Amara ran barefoot into the night, clutching her phone. The men chased her through the streets. She jumped into a taxi, shouting, "Drive!" The driver sped off. Her heart raced as she called David. "They're after me." He guided her to a safe house in Yaba. There, she finally told her full story, how success became her prison, how greed blinded her. David recorded everything. "The world needs to hear this," he said. But as they spoke, the lights went out. Someone had found them. The power cut wasn't normal. David looked out the window. 3 shadows moved outside. They hid behind the couch, whispering prayers. Amara could hear footsteps on the stairs. Then, silence. Minutes later, David's phone buzzed. A message read, "You can't hide her." He turned to Amara, his face pale. "They are everywhere." They escaped through the back door into the cold rain. That night, they found shelter in an abandoned church. Amara knelt and prayed for forgiveness. "I just wanted to make my mother proud," she cried. In the church, David showed her a hidden file, Glover Tech's real operation, human sacrifice for wealth and influence. Amara felt sick. "So were the offerings?" "Yes," David said quietly. "You were chosen because of your purity and ambition." Tears rolled down her face. She couldn't believe the company she worshipped was built on darkness. She decided to fight back. "Let's expose them." David warned her again. "Once we do, we can never go back." But Amara had already lost everything worth keeping except her soul. David uploaded the files to a global news outlet. Within hours, Glover Tech's name trended everywhere. The government began investigations. Some company leaders fled the country. But Amara knew the war wasn't over. She received another message. "You can't destroy us. You belong to us." She fainted. When she woke up, she saw symbols burned into her wall, the same ones from the ceremony. The curse had followed her. Strange things began to happen. Her reflection in the mirror would smile when she didn't. She heard her name whispered in empty rooms. Doctors said it was stress, but Amara knew it wasn't. David brought a pastor to pray for her. During the prayer, she screamed uncontrollably as something dark left her body. After that night, she felt lighter but also empty. David smiled. "You're free now." She wasn't sure. Weeks later, the company's buildings were sealed. Mr. Kelvin was arrested, but Mrs. Ayoka vanished. Reporters chased Amara for interviews, but she refused. She moved to Ibadan, living quietly. One night, she received a letter, no name, just a sentence. "The circle never ends." She tore it up and prayed again. Some doors, she learnt, should never be opened even when they promise gold. Amara often dreamed of that first night, the black candle, the chants, the faces. She now understood what the blood on her wrist meant, a bond, signed in fear. She visited Chioma's grave, laid flowers and said, "I'm sorry." As she walked away, she whispered, "I'll spend my life warning others." Her tears fell softly, but her heart carried strength again. Months later, David convinced her to tell her story on TV. She agreed, but made one request: hide my face. The interview went viral. People across Africa watched and wept. Many young women reached out to her saying they faced the same pressure at work. Amara realized her pain had become power. She finally smiled. One afternoon, she saw a woman outside her house. It was Mrs. Ayoka. She looked older, weaker, but still had that chilling smile. "You think you're free, Amara? Every choice has a price." Amara stood tall. "I already paid mine." Mrs. Ayoka laughed and disappeared into the crowd. Amara shut her door and prayed. The wind outside howled like a warning. Amara started an organization to help young women in corporate circles. She taught them, never trade your body for opportunity. Success without peace is failure. Her story became a lesson in schools and churches. David helped her publish a book titled The Price of Ambition. It sold out in weeks. For the first time in years, Amara slept without nightmares. At dawn, Amara stood by the beach in Lagos. The sun rose gently, painting the sky gold. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Thank you, God, for a second chance." The waves touched her feet softly. She had lost her fame, but found her soul. She looked at the horizon and smiled, not the smile of a survivor, but of a woman reborn. And this time, no shadow followed her. True success is not measured by wealth, fame, or position. It is measured by peace of mind and integrity. Amara's story teaches that when ambition loses its conscience, it becomes destruction. No dream is worth your soul. The shortcuts that promise success often lead to regrets, pain, and emptiness. Every young person, especially women chasing greatness, must remember you can rise with dignity. Your talent, faith, and hard work are enough. Never trade your body or your values for opportunity. Real blessings never come with fear. Share this story to remind someone that not every door that opens is divine. Some doors lead to darkness. Let this be a warning to young dreamers. Protect your soul, guard your ambition, and wait for success that doesn't demand your peace. If you've ever been pressured, manipulated, or hurt chasing a dream, speak out. Your story can save another life. Say no to exploitation. Say yes to self-worth.